Metropole Debrief is a dialogue. Everybody has a say, and it's time for us to sample the feedback that you've been sending us and some of the thoughts that you've been sharing online with regards to the topic that we're discussing today. So we'll go through the tweets and then we'll go to the streets so you can have your say. And also we have a very special small segment for you here where it's called Your Take, and we'll be playing a WhatsApp video that has been sent in to us by one of you narrating the experience with COVID-19. But before we get to that, let's start on social media, and I presume we'll start on Twitter with Leonard Omulo, who says, Junior, I wish to flee from Nairobi too. We are not following the containment measures. Neither are the latter comprehensive for various reasons. We have no adequate facilities and preparedness. So how are we safe in Nairobi and epicenter? So the lockdown had been extended, and Leonard does not feel safe in Nairobi. It is the epicenter of the disease, as he says, and he doubts the preparedness that the country has put in place in Nairobi County and other counties. And he has every right to feel like this, because we've seen on the news the deplorable states of these counties and their quarantine facilities. Busia County, for example, where a mother was forced to sleep on a box together with her infant because the school that she was being held at did not have mattresses for her to lie on. And the president went on and gave a directive that every county must have at least 300 isolation beds. Siaya, deplorable state, 10 beds. So Leonard has every right to feel the way he feels. Let's take a look at another tweet. At Gadara says, rather than assume Kenyans are doing things bila sababu just to aggravate the government of Kenya and then issuing the usual threats of hatua, perhaps it would be better to find out why they are moving in and out of Nairobi and help them to fulfill their needs while minimizing movement. No? Okay, so Gathara is saying most of the time there are always jokes going around that Mutahi Kagwe gombanisha watu kwa press conference because we are not adhering to the protocols that the government has put in place to combat and contain the spread of COVID-19. But he says instead of being mad at Kenyans for moving in and out of Nairobi, how about we try and find out why they are moving out of Nairobi? There was a time back, news hit the headlines that a gentleman had traveled all the way from Nairobi to Kisii on a motorbike, and when he was asked the reason why he left Nairobi, he said he didn't have anything to eat and he'd rather go to the village where he's sure he'll not go to bed angry. That is Gathara's view. Let's take a look at another. There you go. At Andrew Sule says, so much is being said and done about those who are infected with coronavirus, but there's little about those who are affected by the COVID-19, who are socially, mentally, and economically hit by the virus. And Patricia raised this point really well. Particularly mentally, the strain of not being able to see your family, the strain of not knowing what tomorrow holds, the strain that today there are few cases, tomorrow there are very many cases, the strain of always perhaps living in constant fear that I might contract the virus just by breathing. Economically, Vincent brought it out really well. For example, for him who's in the profession that is teaching, when the virus hit, most of the schools closed and not all schools are doing online learning. And even those that are implementing online learning, not all parents are able to pay the fee. Hence, they have little to no pay. And we've even seen the deplorable state of BOM teachers across the country and some counties and wards going ahead to take money out of their CDF kitty and give it to these teachers just to enable them to survive. Andrew, we hear you. Let's take a look at another. At Mogire_Jasper says, I'm beginning to think that COVID-19 KE is a lie. How in the hell can a CS say that schools will open and 6-year-olds will wear masks when wazee na wamama sokoni na mitaa don't wear for any length of time? He's just raising questions about how sometimes it could be a little bit uncomfortable and difficult to adapt to the new guidelines. You know, wash your hands every time you want to touch your eyes or your face, or just for the sake of it, because you do not know if you've touched an infected surface. Don't touch your mouth, don't touch your nose, don't touch your eyes. You have to wear a mask. And this is something we've spoken about before on the show. most masks are worn as chin guards or unabeba mask kwa sababu hutaki ushikwe na serikali. And he's saying if adults who can be able to think critically and understand the consequences and the severity of the disease do not adhere to the guidelines, how will it be possible for 6-year-olds to go back to school? And we've also seen other countries that have reopened schools, for example, South Africa, after teachers and students tested positive, about 90 of them for COVID, schools had to be closed all over again. In Britain, about 46% of parents did not take back their students to school upon reopening. Whether COVID-19 is a lie or not, we do not want to get into that debate today. However, the part of reopening schools and the concerns over the safety of our students are very legitimate. Let's take a look at another before we cross over to the streets. At Dr. Chitai says, the reason why a COVID-19 free certificate is useless is the same reason the testing of restaurant employees is meaningless. One could contract the virus immediately after testing negative. So he says, put in place infection control guidelines and let restaurants open as usual. Hashtag COVID-19KE. Dr. Chitai, it would be interesting to know what are some of these guidelines that you're proposing, but he also raises a very valid point. You could test negative and on your way out you contract the virus. So maybe a vaccine or maybe constant testing if you're in an industry that you regularly interact with people, and also maybe just adhering to those guidelines, wash your hands, wear a mask and maintain social distance. But this is a valid point that you raise, and it should be a point of concern, because as much as we want restaurants to reopen, they can't reopen and operate as we need them. We are seeing many businesses right now opting for takeaway or outside sittings, outdoor sittings for those who have the space, just to minimize the risk of contracting the virus. We'll be crossing over to the streets in a bit, but if we have another tweet, we will take it. Okay, Dr. Chitai was, okay, let's take a look, take another by him. And he says, I have come across many people in Kenya who believe there's no coronavirus and that the government is just lying so as to be considered for relief funding / grants and loans. Do you personally know anyone who has the virus? Very common question. Well, I'll pose that question to you. Do you personally know anybody that has the virus? If so, talk to us at Ndiro Ganga at Metropole TV KE, and the hashtag to use is Metropole Debrief. As you tell us that, let's cross over on the streets and find out how you really are doing in the wake of COVID-19. This is Street Talk.
Biashara ni kung'ang'ana tu, kulingana vile naona hii town ya juu wale walikuwa wanatupea kazi, sasa hivi wamejifungia kwao. Tumebaki peke yetu kwa street. Sasa hata kupata kitu ni ngumu sana kwa sababu ya corona. Sababu mtu anashindwa, nitapeleka kwa fundi viato kama atanunulia watoto unga.
Leo tuko hapa tu kupoteza wakati, manake hatuna kazi ya kufanya sasa. Hata watoto yangu walikuwa shule, sasa hii hawako huko. Na walikuwa wanapata lunch kwa shule, sasa wanapata lunch kwa nyumba. Sasa hiyo ni mzigo. Na huko nyumbani hatutumii sana distance because tumekaa na tumejuana.
Ukitembea hapa in town, almost everyone has a mask on, but if you go to the back streets, the ghettos, the marketplace, no one is keen on observing social distancing, masks, because it doesn't make a difference. Look at this crowd here. I don't think there is anyone who is beyond 1 meter apart from the other. But if policemen came walking around, people would start taking paces backwards to create a space. Ikiwa amesag mask anaipandisha juu, kuavoid kuharasiwa juu atashikwa ambiwa atoe pesa ama discussion hiyo itadisruptiwa. So hii kuvaa mask hai make difference yote. So unavaa mask ndio usiharasiwe na police. Just that.
Kama kawaida mwananchi usahau, especially sisi Kenyans tunasahau sana. Manake unakuta kama sasa tumeleta kazi hapa, lazima usocialize na watu, unakuta umeshikana na watu nini, pesa ndizo hizo umeshikana na watu. Ile pesa ya kuweka sanitizer kwa mfuko kila wakati hakuna. So unakuta tunajaribu kuweka hiyo distance na hiyo, lakini tunakuta tumesahau. so sio kitu ambayo iko ndani yetu sana, lakini wao tunajaribu.
Imebidi, unajua at first nilikuwa ngumu manze, sababu unapata inakufinya masikio alafu hiyo kupumua nini, but saa ni kuzoea tu, unachiki with time tu unajipata umezoea, alafu unabai kadhaa, usibai mask moja, unapata bai hata 3 hivi, ndio pia ile hygiene nini na maintain.
Measures mimi nafuata kwa sababu najua corona iko na siwezi kuchezea au kuchukua kama mdaha. Kwa hivyo maagizo ya Minister of Health are okay.
Nilikuwa nafanya kazi country bus huko, kuweka mizigo kwa mabasi juu. Huko nimezurua, nipetafuta kibarua, nikakuja kupitisha masaa. Sasa jioni niteremke sokoni huko usiku ipite.
Mimi nimekuja kuuza broaders hapa. Sijapata customer kutoka asubuhi, but najaribu kuomba Mungu agarau nipate mmoja niuze nipate chakula ya jioni.
Biashara nyingine iko inatembea kidogo, ile yaanguka chini kama. Kwa maana ile zamani walikuwa wanakula. Unaona hiyo top hiyo? Nilikuwa nauza paketi. Siku ngapi? 2, lakini sasa siku 5. Watu hakuna. Tena wanapita kupita. Hakuna biashara. Hata nao wanapenda, lakini wanapenda, lakini pesa hakuna.
Saizi kama wewe ni msanii, kama like naweza sema personally ama wasanii wenzangu pia wenye wanaona wamedu, unatafuta kitu ya kufanya, like unaingia street, unaingia mtaa, unaanzisha tu ka small biz yenye inaweza sustain for now.
I have some other side hustles. I sell second-hand clothes.
How is that business?
That business has also been affected adversely because right now we are not getting mitumba, that's the used clothes from China as we used to get it after the breakout of this pandemic.
Wenye outbreak ya corona ilitokea, ilibidi watu wako na mask, wako na sanitizer, so nikaona hiyo ni opportunity fiti, nikaanza kuuza hizo. Wakati wa outbreak ya corona, biashara ilikuwa fiti, tulikuwa napata poa, lakini sasa hii venye time inaenda, karibu kila mtu sasa yako na mask, watu sasa hii hawataki sanitizer sana. So
very thoughtful of our reporter Vincent there to just go out in the streets of Nairobi and talk to you to find out how you really are doing, because besides being just a television station and a television show, we really care about you. You're not just our audience, you're part of the Metropole Debray family and part of the Metropole TV family. So we want to know how you are doing. And speaking of how you are doing, today on Your Take, we want to also listen to a lady who's part of the theater and arts industry and how she is doing. We know it's one of the sectors that has been hit hard by COVID-19 because they depend on people going out there and enjoying art. But now that there has to be social distance and everybody's staying at home and events are cancelled, what does her life look like? Take a look.
My name is Helen Macedo. I'm a full-time artist and one of the executive producers of Too Early for Birds. When Corona hit Kenya and the government was forced to shut down events and all that, we were one of the ones who were really affected because we had a show set for April, and that was mid-March when the government said no more events. And by that time, we had already started planning the show since back in December. January was the writing and the editing, and February and all that. So at first, it was really like, oh my goodness, what do we do? Because for me, Too Early for Birds is my main source of income. That's the major project that I do like all year round. On the side, I craft. So after the event was shut down and we couldn't do anything about it. Like there was like a month where it was just like taking it all in, realizing like this was the new normal, and just being like, okay, will things change in like maybe 2 months or 3 months or something? Like our lives are on hold for like that first month. And then April came, and for me it's like something clicked. I was like, oh, we are going to be in this for quite some time. It's not going to be over probably even till December 2020. So Personally, for me, it's been like a roller coaster. Sometimes I've had really creative spurts where I'm just writing and crafting, and then I just have dips where I just want to watch movies and sleep and just like go for walks. So I've been patient with myself, but because rent has to be gotten, at least I'm managing to craft on the side. So basically right now, crafting is my main thing. I wake up, I craft lunch, craft some more, go for a walk, and then in the evening I take it easy. I'm not writing at the moment because it's a lot of pressure to keep creating as normal, especially when you don't know when you might be able to shoot that script or edit, or like it's just difficult to predict anything right now. So all I'm doing at the moment is taking my creative spurts as they come. So crafting has been good, at least I'm glad, and it's giving me rent so far. And with Twirly for Birds, we are trying to find ways to tailor the stories into audiovisual stuff that we can post online so that they can go to a wider market, and also like find ways to make money off of that, because we really need to try and see how it would work, or how the stories we tell on stage could work online or in other forms, basically like adapting them. So that is what we are working on at the moment. But yeah, it's been trying, but you know, things happen, and COVID has really affected so many people. I'm just glad I still have like a roof over my house. I have food. I'm glad even when I run out of food, my mom sends me food from her farm in Taita. And I can't visit her right now, obviously, because of the lockdown. But it really counts for something. And also, like, there are so many things that I've learned, that I've now set my attentions to that I didn't before. I feel like I'm healthier now, both mentally, even especially physically, because when life was busy, as business as usual, it was easy to say, oh, I want to go for a walk today because I'm so tired, or I need to work on this and this and this. Right now, there's no excuse. You've been crafting the whole day, you're free in the evening, go for a walk. So it's been helping me. Like I've found ways to cope with it. And I'm looking forward to like learning things. I've been cooking things I've never cooked before. I've started running, something I thought I hated. I've gone hiking along the whole length of Ngong Hills, and crafting wise, I'm trying out things I only ever planned but never really executed. So on one side, it's nice and restful, and just like this space to just experiment. On the other side, there's always the uncertainty just looming over you. But well, it's all about taking it one day at a time and just keep doing things that one loves. And that's basically how I've been surviving.
Well, quite a sad state of affairs there, and we really hope that as other economies begin to reopen and as people begin thinking out of the box, she will find her footing and be able to take care of herself and foot her bills, and also that art will go back to thriving in the near future. We all need art. It's always a beautiful break from reality. That's all we had for you today on the show. Thank you very much for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. Remember, we are always a button away, and you can always reach to us via social media, on Twitter at Ondiro Ganga, at Metropole TVKE. The hashtag to use is Metropole Debrief, or you can send us an email address, metropoletv@metropole.co.ke. I'll see you again some other time. Enjoy the rest of your viewing.